Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Learn with Gege. So today we are going to be learning how to add and subtract decimal numbers. Stay with me as we proceed. First, we need to look at the rules for adding and subtracting decimal numbers. Whenever you are given two or more decimal numbers to add or to subtract, the first thing you are required to do is to line up the decimal points vertically. What this means is that you write each of the numbers, ensuring that your decimal points are vertically arranged from the top to the bottom. Next thing you are required to do is to fill in the missing digits with zeros so that the numbers all have the same length. The next thing you are going to be doing is to add and or subtract like whole numbers. You add and subtract as if you are dealing with whole numbers, and then finally you place the decimal point in the answer directly under the others. Let's go and look at a few examples. The first one we have here, we are to add the following. The first numbers are 24.356 and we are adding it with 3.72. Let's go. We want to add 24, so this is 24.356 and we want to add it with 3.72. If you look at these two numbers right now, you will discover that we need to add a 0 here and we need to also add a 0 here so that they can both have the same length. Now we have a very well organized structure. We can go ahead and do our addition. 6 plus 0 is 6, 5 plus 2 is 7, 3 plus 7 is 10. We'll put a 0 here just the way we do for whole numbers, and then we put the 1 up here. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8, and then 2 plus 0 is 2. And the last rule says that we put our decimal point in our answer directly under the others. So our answer is going to be 28.076. 28.076. Alright, let's look at the next example where we have the number is 13.75 and we are adding it with 4.2. Once again, we need to put placeholder zeros to complete the length of each number. We'll put a 0 here and then we'll put a 0 here. Let's go ahead and add. Now we have 5 plus 0 is 5, 7 plus 2 is 9, 3 plus 4 is 7, and then 1 plus 0 is 1. And then we'll bring down our decimal point directly under the rest and we have 17.95. The rules are very simple. Let's revisit the rules again. Line up the decimal points vertically. Fill the missing digits with zeros so the numbers have the same length. Add or subtract like whole numbers. And finally, place the decimal point in the answer directly under the others. Alright, if you like this video so far, if you're enjoying what you see, kindly hit the like and subscribe button as well as share to others. Right now we are going to be looking at the subtraction aspect. So very quickly, let's start. The first we have here is 28.9 subtracting 13.456. So let's go 28.9 and then we have 13.456. If you look at the digits, we need to put some placeholder zeros at the top so that they can both have the same structure. Now let's go ahead and carry out our subtraction. 0 minus 6 is not possible, so we need to borrow. We look at the neighbor, we cannot borrow from this guy, so we need to borrow from the 9. We borrow to this place, it becomes a 10, and then we borrow 1 from there again, it becomes a 9. We are left with, here becomes like a 9, here becomes a 10, and here becomes an 8. So we can now go ahead and carry out the subtraction. 10 minus 6 is 4, 9 minus 5 is also 4, 8 minus 4 is also 4, 8 minus 3 is 5, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. So therefore, we'll bring down our decimal point right below the rest, and the answer is 15.444. Okay, let's look at the next one, where we have 70.005 subtracting 25.78. Right now we need to put a placeholder 0 here to give it the same structure, and we can go ahead and carry out our subtraction. 5 minus 0 is 5. 0 minus 8 is not possible, so we'll borrow from all the way from the 7, and that makes it to become like a 6 right here. We borrow to this first 0, it becomes a 10, and then we borrow out of it, it becomes a 9. Here becomes a 10, and then we borrow out of it again, becomes a 9, and here becomes like a 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2, 9 minus 7 is 2, 9 minus 5 is 4, and then 6 minus 2 is 4. Finally, we place our decimal point where it should be, which is here, and the answer would be 44.225.